What is up, you guys? Hello, hey, happy Thursday. We are going live right now to do an upper body workout. We have an upper body strength and core workout. So let's get into it. Starting off with what equipment you guys are going to need today. So I will be using my two 8-pound dumbbells, those loop bands. I have a light one and a heavy one, as well as this long set band here, which I am going to flip you guys around and anchor onto my desk leg. So if you do not have one of these, you can use any of the above. And if you do not have any of this, I have some great body weight options, or you can use a small tea towel to hold in place of these bands. So for our warm-up, we do not need any equipment. Just our body. We're going to start off with sticking our arms out to the side and lifting and lowering our arms, trying to get that fluid that I'm always talking about that hangs out in our joints. We need to release it. So we'll start off doing some movement. So we'll go up and down about 20 times, keeping our palms facing down. And then once you're done 20, we'll turn the palms facing in front of us, and we'll go back and forth now. And trying to warm up, get those shoulders going, and make sure we are all good to go here. Yes. Awesome. All right. So once you guys are done 20 this way, we will relax our arms down to our sides and go through about 3 rotations in each direction. So we'll go backwards, lifting those shoulders up to our ears, pulling them back, down, and around in a big circle, and then we'll stop and go forwards, going through 3 in the other direction. Just loosening everything up. But once you guys are done those, we will bring ourselves down onto the floor, onto our hands and our knees. So we're going into this all-four position. Shoulders are stacked over the wrists, hips stacked over the knees. We can relax our feet down, toes down. We're going to take one hand and bring the hands behind the head. Close off and try to touch our elbow or get it as close as you can to the top of our hand. And then exhale and open up and try to see how much we can open without having any movement in our legs and our hips. So we close, and then we exhale and open, looking up with your eyes, trying to get lots of movement happening through your mid-back, upper back, going through 10 per side. So eventually you might be able to actually touch your elbow to your hand, just as that thread the needle that we do, that we hear on Tuesday actually. Similar, you might feel a bit more limited in this one though, like you can't open quite as much, and that's completely normal. So we'll do both sides, and we can go through 10 on the other side, trying to same thing that you did on the first side, over here, you guys know how it is. So we'll go through those. Double check what's next. Yes, so just standing back up. Once we're done that one, we are going to stand back up to the top and stick our arms above our head. And move my camera down, but you guys see my hands are straight above my head. I'm going to reach my shoulders up and try to hug my ears with my shoulders. Take a big breath, and then exhale and start to pull my shoulders down, pull my hands down into this pull down, pull up, pull down motion. And then I get to the bottom, squeeze my back, and I'll go back up, reach up, hug the shoulders to the ears, and then exhale, fist in the hands to help get a nice strong squeeze in our back. And we're going through 10 of these total. So again, stretching up, and then as we pull down, we should be feeling these muscles waking up because we're pulling them together as we pull down into that pull down motion, which is very familiar, which might be one of our first exercises that we do, maybe. So we'll go through 10 of those ones. Once you guys are done, just shake out your shoulders, swing them out, go through about 20 of these, 10 up and down and alternating. Again, this is just to help us get everything ready, prepped, ready to go here. As you guys know, today is Thursday, which is the day that we focus on our back and our shoulders. So we're going to take a little extra time to warm up our shoulders, finishing off with one more specific shoulder warm-up exercise, which is going to start in this position, this 90-degree at the elbow situation. I have my fingertips stretching away and I'm going to open up into this external rotation. So this one here is working through our rotator cuff. You guys have definitely heard that before. You've heard it from me talking about it, but you probably heard about it even before that through other people, maybe yourself. Rotator cuff's a very common one that people actually injure, unfortunately. But this is what it does, is it rotates the arm in and out. So we're trying to warm up that specific group of muscles and ligaments and all of that stuff in there with this external rotation. Once you're done 10 of those, which I don't know if you're counting, hopefully, we'll go down, lifting up those arms rather, lifting them up to 90, and then lowering the hands down, seeing if we can get them a little bit below the elbow. So now this one is the internal rotation. So now it's us turning our arm in and working that range of motion. So all of us are going to be at different levels. Some of you might not be able to get your hands here. You might be able to get them lower, be stuck up here. Just work with whatever you've got. I'm going to do 10 of those. Woo. And then put that into a little combo for 5 more reps. So we'll come back down to this one. This is, you I like to wake up the brain as well as the body. 9 degrees, we will open up into this position, lift up into this lifted one, lower, reset, lower, and we're back where we started. So that was 1 rep, we'll do 5 of those. So take your time, I know that was a little quick, I want you guys to go slow, controlled, try to work with that same range of motion, seeing if you can get a little bit deeper into these. Maybe your hands are more in line with your body, and this part of our arm should not be moving away or at all on both of these. So try to keep that as still as possible. So we'll go through 5 total. I know that one's a little long. Carly hopped in here. Good morning, girl. What's up? I was looking at my other screen here. I started streaming on YouTube now. So the video uploads right away. It's been working. All right, so once you guys are done that, we're gonna get you started on our first 2 exercises. We have a single arm shoulder press. I'm going to be using dumbbells. I have my 8-pound dumbbells. I will be coming to you guys with options for those of you who only have bands. What we're going to do is hold 1 dumbbell in both hands, get ourselves down into this half kneeling position that we love. We're going to be in a neutral position with our hands. The side that I'm kneeling on, I'm going to press straight up over my head and count out 10 reps total as I hold this side over here. So just chilling, waiting for me to finish this side of pressing. We'll go 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, just a normal tempo. Once you're done this side, we'll switch the legs over. This one now stays. It's already starting to burn in that first set. And now we're going to press this other side, going through 10 reps, the same tempo, kneeling on the side I'm pressing. Turn to the side so you guys can see my butt is squeezed on that side. So my hips are staying nice and strong. I'm not arching through my back at all. Once you guys are done 10, we will be back there. Okay, but I want you to just stand up real quick because we're going to get set up for the second exercise, although we're not doing our first set right away. We have our vertical pulls. So this one we've talked about lots of ways that you can do this. Today what I'm going to do is take my orange band here and I'm going to flip you guys around onto my desk leg, attach it to there, and do a Superman where I pull this band in. So those of you who have TRXs, we can do our TRX pull-up. If you have somewhere to attach this band that is higher, you can stay in that kneeling position and pull the band down into your collarbone area. But I want you guys to get set up for that right now. So I am going to flip you guys around. Let's go over here. It's not that far. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take this loop band. Again, you can use handle bands or just the ones that are like this. And I'm going to wrap it around my desk leg like this so that I have it set up here. So you guys are set up for this. We will be back here. What we're going to do now, which hopefully I can just turn you guys around. Maybe. We'll see. Oh, that's why. This cam's all weird. All right, so what we're going to do now is come back over to our dumbbell press and go through 2 more sets, consecutive sets, where we're doing this. So I'm on the kneeling side here, and I'm going to start off with this side, going through 10 reps over here. On this side, still holding this dumbbell over here. So you guys can get started on your set right now. Working with 10, and we're going to do 2 sets of this. So we're in this kneeling position. I'll work with 10 over on this side, and then I'll switch, and I'll do 10 over on this side. And then once I'm done, I have to do one more here. So then I'll switch back. Shoulders are still burning. And we will finish off before we start our first set of that banded one over there with this one here. So those of you who are working with loop bands, what you can do is hold the band here, and we're going to press up one side at a time like this. Yes. And if you do not have anything like that anchored band situation, what you're going to do, just kind of similar to what I will be doing, my band will be attached in front of me here. But if you don't have the band, then we're just going to lift and pull in like this. Okay, so just to kind of get you guys prepared for that. Once you're done your 2 sets of the 10 shoulder press on each side, with that sneaky little hold there, you guys are going to go into your first of 3 sets, where we're now going to superset these 2. So we'll start off, and once you're done, third one here, we'll go over onto our banded one over here and start our first set of Supermans. It's so low on this camera. All right, so you should be getting close. Take your time though, you guys. I do not want you to rush through this stuff. You're going slow. So as you are getting set up for this, we are laying on our tummy down here. If your band is attached low, like mine is, because we're all probably quite limited on what we got. And then I'm going to pull this band in and pull it wide so that my hands end up a little wider than my shoulders. And I'm pulling in, pushing my elbows down to the floor, trying to keep my entire lower body on the ground. So my hips, my legs, my feet, everything is staying down on the floor. So that way I'm not putting any extra stress on my lower back. So you guys are going to 15 reps of these ones, which you can start right after you're done your shoulders with whatever variation you guys are going through. So, yes, looks so good. All right, so if your band is attached atop of you, same rules apply. We want to push those elbows underneath the band. Looks so good. All right, so we're going through 15 reps. Yes. All right, so when you are done that one, the sweet time, we are going to do 2 more rounds of these 2 exercises together. So we have back to our shoulder press here, and then we're there and here 2 more times. So 3 sets total. We started with that one over there. So when you guys are ready or not, here we come, going into this one here. Now again, with this kneeling stuff, if you need a little bit more support for your knees, you can double up your mat, grab a little something extra. Or when in doubt, you can always do this from a standing or seated position. I know some of us have sensitive knees, and this is essentially 6 sets of being kneeling down there. And so you just might find, your body might not like it that much. So you can always modify if you need to. So let's do this. Now the whole deal with this one, we're holding one side while we're pressing the other. So you're getting a little bit of best of both worlds in terms of a moving exercise and that more static holding exercise, which all in all will make your weights, your bands, whatever you're using, feel way heavier than they normally would feel. But you have to make sure that you are actually holding that weight there and you're not resting it on your shoulder. And with the bands, you have to make sure that you have some sideways tension on the band like this, and your hands aren't just like in here. This is not going to be very challenging, whereas if I hold it out like this, it's going to be a lot harder. Same thing with the dumbbell. If I was to rest the dumbbell on my shoulder over here while I press, that is not going to be very challenging, whereas if I hold it here, maybe eye level, that's the sweet spot. Well, it's the spot you don't really want it to be, but it's the spot that I want it to be. All right, so we'll go through these sets. Doing our thing. Good job, guys. Okay, so we're going through those pull downs. Again, whatever you're using, we want those hands ending up in a little bit of a wider than shoulder width position here. Yes. computer is based in it, like 3 programs running. Yay! It's working though. All right. Whew. So back to those pull downs. Now, just as we were doing on the warm up, I was having you guys think about the back muscles as we do those pull down situations. Same thing is happening here. We're trying to actually feel those muscles in our back. We're big, we run down the sides of our back. As you guys pull down, we're trying to pull the shoulders down, elbows together, so that we can squeeze those muscles back there. You should feel it. You're doing 15 reps, so you should feel it anyway, regardless of what's in your hands. But sometimes you just have to think about it a little bit more. So with one more round of these, woo! Guys, okay. Good shoulder pressing. This is, I have to double check before I tell you yes. This is our shoulder pressing exercise of the day. So give me all your energy on these presses. Try to make them as strong as possible. As you guys start to get tired, we're in the half kneeling position, which is quite forgiving in terms of what's happening with your body when you get tired, but still we want to think about activating this glute on this kneeling side, which is going to help us get a nice strong core and overall just protect the lower back and get you that sneaky core work that is in here if you think about it and if you pull it in and engage it. So you have 2 more sets. You have this one, pull in, and then 1 more, and then you guys are there. Yay. Moving on. Woo! Good work, you guys. So we'll go into that next set of these pull downs. We have 1 more after this. Yay! Or no, this is your last one. This is your last one. Let's get it. We've got 1 more set of shoulders though. So we started with this. All right, so take the time, you guys. 15 reps on this final set here. If you do want to make it a little bit more challenging, you probably know what I'm gonna say. Hold those reps in. Bring them in. Hold them. Actually think about it. Back muscles. Squeeze. And then slowly let it out. You're gonna feel it a lot more, especially on this last set. If you weren't feeling it the most on the prior ones, it's your perfect opportunity to make that happen for yourself. Let's get it. All right, good work, you guys. So once done, we have 1 more round of our iso hold, isometric, we call that holding part of the exercise, shoulder press. So let's finish it up strong. We have 10 reps per side, 10 and 10. And then we are gonna shake it out and move on to the next part here. Yay! There you go. So especially with this one, the longer you take to do these reps, it's gonna increase the challenge so much because the longer that you have to hold that weight there. So if you do wanna, you've got time. We have about 2 minutes here before we really need to move on to the next part. So take your sweet time with this final part here. I gather my words. Got water with me in here today instead of coffee. Okay, so once you guys are finished, you can grab a quick sip of H2O and we are going to move on to the next part. Yay! So we have 2 more exercises, 2 different ones we are going to do. Similar combo. We have a shoulder exercise and a back exercise. So starting off with this back exercise, it is a row. We are going to do a neutral grip row with a 1, 2, 3 second pause. And that is specific today. So TRXs, great option if you have them set up. Bands, the one we were just using actually. You can do the same thing, whether it's standing in a staggered stance position here, or you could potentially go back down onto your knee. We're just talking about your kneecaps, so I don't like that much, so maybe do the standing staggered stance. I am going to do a dumbbell version because it works best for me in the way that I'm set up in here, but I will turn you guys around and show you my banded option as well as my loop banded option as well. So let's start off with this one. We're going to pair this with a lateral raise, which we know and love. We're in a narrow stance, feet, hips back with those soft knees, and then I pull into this wide grip position, and I hold for 1, 2, 3, and then let down. So we're really kind of in the middle of a wide and neutral. We want to be in this push-up position, that A position with our arms, not so much like the T that we've done before or that narrow grip. We're kind of right in the middle. So we'll go through 10 of these total with the 1, 2, 3 second hold. If you're working with loop bands, this is all you got. You can hold the band sideways, pull it in, and hold 1, 2, 3. So we'll do our first set here. We are going to complete 4 total, so 3 more after this one. 10 reps, a 1, 2, 3. Honest 3-second count, as honest as we can be. And then we are going to pair this with a lateral raise using most likely dumbbells, 5s, 8s, maybe 10s. It's pretty heavy though. To go through laterals, and then of course I will give you guys the band versions as well. So once you're done that one, you can grab your dumbbells. We're standing up, same position in our feet, right under our hips, and then we're lifting up into this T. Normal tempo here, unless you want to try some of the stuff that I'm about to throw down for you guys. We're going through 15 reps total. So for you guys, 15 reps is pretty high rep for lateral raises, and we've done 10s most of the time in terms, and I give you guys the options today. I want you to do 15 reps with your weights normal like this. If your weights are too light, what you can do is hold the top. If your weights are like way too light, like you have 3s or 5s, or you're using like soup cans or water bottles or something, you can try out this T-hold raise instead of the normal tempo. And you'll count out 10 per side, 20 total. For most of us, if I was to do this with these weights, that's going to be way too hard. Whereas this is going to be much more manageable for that 15 rep range. So that's what's set up for this one. For those of you who have bands, not the most ideal doing a lateral raise with a loop band, as we don't get the same range of motion. So ideally, if I was to have bands, I would either loop 2 of them together, or I would grab a longer band that I can pull all the way up so that I can get through that full range of motion. You can also use the ones with the handles, very effective, and you stand on them and lift them up like this. So lots of options for you guys, 15 of them. Once you're done, not any rest. We're going right into our next set here. Of course, if you just take a moment to think about your burning shoulders, grab a quick sip of water, that's totally fine. But we're not going to take any prescribed rest. We don't have that 45 seconds or that minute rest where I kind of force you into taking it. You guys can essentially go right into your next set when you feel ready, which hopefully is soon. So we'll go through 3 more sets total. Back to that first one, we have that 3-second pause row. Okay, so let's flip you guys around. We'll talk about how we can do this on with our anchored band. There we go. So when you guys go through any option like this, you guys most of the time will note that I just loop the band like around once like this. That's just to save myself space. And then again, I'll be in this half kneeling position here, and then I would pull in 1, 2, 3. You could also be in a full kneeling, or again, that standing staggered stance like this. But because my band is anchored so low, I want to lower myself down. So it's a little bit higher than my belly button, about chest height. So that way when I pull in, I'm getting that right angle for that pull. My head was like cut off here. But anyways, hopefully you guys are set up if you're using that one. We are going to go through 4 rounds total. For the back, for the shoulders. And plugging in this computer. It's working hard. There you go. It's 1, 2, 3. Good work, you guys. Squeeze it back. Yes, looks really good. So working through the second set, just 10 pause rows. Yes, squeeze in the back. Making you feel hard, making you feel like you do not want to do 11, 12. And then we'll go right into those lateral raises. A higher rep, 15 reps. So ways that we can make this feel easier, feel harder. I've talked about how to make them harder. You just know this stuff. To make them feel easier though, you might be stuck with weights that are like too heavy. Like you have 8s. These 8s are kind of borderline heavy for 15. And it starts to get a little ugly there towards 15. So as my reps start to get weird, if I start to kind of really lift them up like this, or I start to like arch my back or do stuff that I shouldn't, what I'll do is add a slight bend into my arms so I can lift up, and it's going to feel a lot easier because the weight is closer to my body. Whereas if my arms are straight, the weight's further, so it's going to be a lot harder, which you can totally try and see, especially if you are having that serious struggle on those last few reps. Not something that I want you guys to do, but definitely an option because, you know, safety always comes first. And if you're lifting up like this and you're arching your back, it's just never a good idea. So it's going to be a lot safer for you to just bend the arms a bit and keep everything nice and tight rather than have it go off. Okay. So we'll go through our last 2 rounds of these ones. The rows and the lateral raises. Okay, so if you're working with bands, the further away you are from your mount point, the harder it's going to be because the tighter the band is. Other ways that you can use these bands to do this one, you can stand on the band like this and pull in wide like this. If I was to want to make this harder, I could hold the band a little bit closer and pull in like so. So if you guys are wanting to have a handle band, if you don't have anywhere to anchor it, that's something that you can try. So 2 more sets. I'll try to keep it as even as possible. These last 2 sets though, of course. Yes. There you go. So strong hold at the top. At 3 seconds. You got it. So okay, so go through your set here. Do 1 more round after this one. Yes. Which means we are almost halfway there. Yes. All right. So lateral raises, 15 reps of them. We're going right into those ones. Doing our thing. There we go. So we'll have a nice light grip on those dumbbells, lifting up just into a T, no higher. And again, following a normal tempo, but just knowing if you were going slower, it would be harder. Yeet. All right, you guys, nice work. 15 reps, breathing through these ones, exhale on the way up, as that is the harder part of this one, is lifting those weights up. So use your breath. So on these last few ones, where they start to get really hard, once you're done, this down. So quick second here, a couple deep breaths, and then bring it back up or move around, whatever you gotta do to do your final set. Because you guys have 1 more set to do. So we'll do our last one here. Just as strong as the first one, not stronger. Our body knows we'll stop now, so we can really push ourselves in this final set. I want every single one of those reps count to feel like it is working in the right place. If it doesn't feel like it's working in the right place, Don't even count it. Okay, you have 10 of them to do, so let's make every single one of them count. You should have that happen anyways, just by holding them in. But do what you gotta do to make it a little harder. Stand back further. If you're using the TRX, get your feet underneath towards the mount point further. Let's crank it up a notch in this final set. 10 reps. Yes. So breathe in the back. A position, elbows lifting up into the ceiling. 10 total. Once you guys are done, if you can, we'll go right into those laterals for the final set of them. G15. Burning shoulders. All right. There we go. You guys can do some final sets of these two, and then we are going to get a quick sip of water and move on to the last part. Yay! Well, sorry, there's 2 more parts. We have 1 more part to our upper body strength, a tricep. So 3 exercises that we are going to do together. We do 4 sets of them to do best. And then we have our final part, which is about our core, which is using the anchored band over there. So we're going to flip around and talk all about that for the last 10 minutes of these parts. So moving on to this next part here, we have these 3 movements. First one is a straight arm kickback. So this is a back focused exercise. So we're working similar muscles to what we were doing in our rows and in our pull downs. I'm going to be using dumbbells, doing this from a bent over position like this, straight arms, extending my arms back behind me. So I'm going to get a nice squeeze in my back. If you don't have dumbbells and or if you have a sensitive lower back, you've done lots of bent over rowing, you might start to be feeling too much here, not enough here. So you can always try this laying down with your hands back here like this, lifting up the hands just as we would if we had dumbbells in them if we were standing. So it's going to help you to target that without too much low back stress. So I want you guys to start with this one. We're going through 10 reps total. So if you're standing, again, you can use dumbbells. You can always, where did I put my band? You can also use a band. Why? Pulling back like this. Ideally, dumbbells is better, but this is going to help you guys get the back of your shoulders, your upper back going on as well. So once you guys are done 10, all of y'all are going down onto the floor because we have a Superman to push-up combo. So we're going to lay down on our tummies. Oh, yeah, just down here. Arms are going to extend out to the side. Going to lift, lower, hovering, bring them in, and then I'll push myself up into a push-up. That's 1, lift, in, push-up, that's 2. I'm in a narrow stance. If you are not very strong at push-ups, if you don't like push-ups, you don't have to go in a narrow stance. You can go in a regular position, so your arms a little bit wider. It's going to be a lot easier out here than it is with the narrow hands. But the narrow hands are going to help us to target more of our triceps, which I want for you guys. So try it out. But if you feel like it is too hard to do, you can always go into your regular push-up position. So we're doing 10 of these. Toe. Oh, yes. Sneaking the push-ups in on a Thursday. What's going on? So we'll get these going on here, trying to push our entire body up as one. We're trying not to do the worm. I know it's totally easier said than done, but it will make a huge difference in terms of how much core work you guys get if you're pushing your body up strong. Whereas if you are doing like a worm like this and kind of worming your way up, you're not going to get in core. So try to keep it tight. We'll go through 10 of those, and then we have one more. These are standing up for the last one. So this last one is 100% tricep focused. You have options here. Wall tricep extension. You guys know I love this one. We're doing 15 reps. So we can go through this one here. The lower I am, the further my feet are back, the harder. The higher, the closer the feet, the easier. Eventually, we can work our way to doing this one off of the floor. So if you find this one really easy, You can try doing this one off the floor, see how you feel, okay? But you have to do 15 reps of them, so let's get to it. If this one doesn't work for you, whether you don't have a wall, or maybe you just don't want to put your sweaty hands on your nice wall, you can always do any other tricep-focused exercise instead of bench dip or this tricep extension. You can remind me to do this one on Tuesday, if you did the wall one. So you can do the same, switch it up and do another option here. But we're going through 15 reps total. Okay, so that was you guys. We're doing it again, going through 3 more sets, starting back with that first one, that straight arm kickback. So you can grab onto your dumbbells, standing up nice and tall, soft knees, sticking your butt out, arms are hanging down, palms face each other, and then we extend the entire arm back, keeping it straight and squeezing our shoulders together. And we do 10 reps total of this one. Woo! Good job, guys. All right, so we should be feeling all the things in our back. You got it. Ooh, all right. Oh, the Superman to push-ups. Yes. So when you guys are ready, well, ready or not, get down there and let's do this up. So if you are somebody who already, again, you don't like push-ups very much, you struggle to do them, and no matter how much you try to get yourself intact, you still cannot push your full body up like that. What I would prefer you to do, so that you can actually get the core out of this, is do knee push-ups. You can do the knees rather than you trying to go onto your toes. And then eventually what you can do is do the knees and then onto the toes. And then you can lower down your full body so that you get that resistance of you just falling onto the floor to get that work. And then you can go through that. But first you have to master pushing up the strong core, which for most of us is a lot easier to do on our knees than in that full plank position. So try to lock that in on this next set here. 2 more opportunities, of course. So try it again. So we'll go through 10 total. Again, the Superman and the push-up equals 1 rep. We're doing 10. Finishing off with the triceps, back of the arms. So we'll have narrow hands, down onto the forearms. Going through those ones. Woo. All right. Let's get this upper body strength. Final sets. 2 more. Yeah. All right, you guys. So same idea here in terms of the rest. We're trying not to take too much, if any, rest in between the sets and or exercises. So exercises, we're trying to go back to back and a little bit of transition time because you kind of got to get up and off the floor and all that. But we'll try to just go right into the next one. And then when we're finished our last exercise, aka the triceps, we'll just pick up those dumbbells, whatever you're using, get down on the floor if that's what you're doing, and go into our next set. So we can get through these and keep everything moving and working without too much rest. Because the way that I have put these exercises together, that we're working different stuff. Well, I have different stuff going on here. Different focuses on each. So you don't need to take as much rest as if you were doing like 2 shoulder exercises or 2 back exercises. Yes. All right. So let's get it. 10. 10, 10, and 15. Good job, you guys. So we get these push-ups and get our core is connected in there, so we're moving all at once. Restart. All right, 36. So exhaling out of those push-ups. I think that we can all agree these are the hardest ones, the Superman push-up. So try to just breathe through them, get through them one more time, and then you are done. Push-ups for today, for the week, then upper body for the week. So it's core, maybe there's some sneaky upper body in this core. You're gonna find it. All right, you guys. So once you're done that, get up, get at them into your triceps, 15 reps, and then we'll go through our final sets. There you go. So like I said right at the beginning, the further down you are, further over your feet are, the harder it is. This one, you don't need a lot of movement in order to change how hard or easy it is. A tiny little difference makes a huge impact. So if you take just a little step away, move my hands down slightly, that's going to be so much harder than that tiny step forward and my hands up. And I'm moving my hands and my feet because I need that 90-degree angle on my elbows. So if it's any smaller than 90, I'm going to get some weird feelings and pain in my elbows. Nobody wants that. So make sure that you are at 90 degrees, especially as you start to get tired. We all know our body does some weird stuff sometimes. So let's go through our final set of these ones. Last set. 10, 10, 15. Let's do it. So again, starting off with that straight arm kick back. We're working on this one for a few weeks now. You guys are feeling a bit more comfortable and confident with the form. We want the arms to stay straight. And again, we're trying to feel this on our back. So those big muscles that run down the sides of our back, those ones are the ones that should be squeezing and pull together. That's it. All right, let's do it. This is it. Final round. Right. Nice job, you guys. Please take your time with it. We have lots of time. So I'll give you guys about 2 minutes to finish up here. The Supermans, the push-ups, let's do them up as strong as we can. I know they're hard, but you can breathe through them, get through them. Final sets. There it is. Exhale, push it up. All right, so once you guys are done, then we are right into the next one. Our last one. Woo! Okay, 10. Move the triceps. Final set, 15 up bend, and the upper body. All core. Basically hanging out on the floor till the end. So that's good news. Maybe. All right, so to finish up, you guys, please take your time with this final set of these triceps. We are almost there. Really close. We're going to finish up with our last part here. You're looking at all right, take your time. Take your time. Once you guys are done, then grab the water. Celebrate that you have done that stuff. We are going to move on to the final part here, which is hanging down on the floor here with me. You'll need some equipment if you are going to be anchoring your band. You'll want to maybe bring your mat over. I am not sweaty, so I'm not going to put my mat down. But if you want to, have a mat under you, then grab that. We are going to attach this band behind us here and do some stuff with it. Now again, for the sake of space, I'm going to use mine 2x2 like this, but if I had more room and more kind of space on this camera, I might do this, where I loop it in and through like so. And if you have like the handle bands, you can put one through the handle and just work with the handle here, you can double it. Just depends on how much space you have. If you don't have something like this, I'm going to show you guys how to do this with these loop bands and then a body weight option if you don't have anything. So what we're going to do is work off a timer. I have this set here for 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. You're going to do these 3 exercises. One of them is a double-sided exercise, and we have 4 rounds of it, okay? So we're going to start off here. That was only 3 rounds, 4 rounds, okay. So we're going to start off with our banded dead bug. So for this one, I'm going to have the band behind my head here, like this, and I'm going to pull the band over top of my shoulders, which is already feeling challenging. So I'm already feeling my core work because I'm pushing my back down into the floor, and then I'll lift up my legs like so, and then I'm going to press start on this timer, and you guys are going to extend your legs one at a time. So if you don't have this whole anchored band situation, you can hold a dumbbell in your hand, or you can grab your loop band and hold it back behind your head like this, where that other band would be. Okay, so let's start this in 3, 2, here we go. Very subtle beat, but that's okay. It was there. Let's do it. So the more tension you have here, the harder it's going to be, but the most important thing is that your lower back stays down. So a couple things you can do to make this easier, harder. The closer your knees are, the easier. So if I was to keep my knees in like this, it's going to feel a lot easier. The further the knees, the harder. So if I was to move my knees out, it's going to feel a lot more challenging. But again, the most important thing is that your back is down and tight to the floor. 10 seconds left, my friends. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so you guys can sit up quickly. Sit up into this position here. Now I'm on the side in this V-hold position. The band is over to one side. Cool. So I'm going to take this thing and bring it in close. I might have to kind of scooch a little closer here so that I can hold it kind of where my sternum is. And then I'm going to lift up my legs here and see if I can press this band up and down. So some of you might find that that's too challenging. You can raise your heels, which might be a little bit cut off here. You can raise the heels on the floor if you need to. And again, I'm in this lean back position like this. So if you're working with loop bands, we're holding this here and we're just pressing up one side at a time, holding it on this side. So you guys have 10 more seconds on this side. Ooh, yes. There it is. 3, 2, 1, time. Super quiet. Hopefully that's loud now. All right, so we need to do the other side. Of course. So if you're working with the band I just showed you, you're going to now press up your other arm, okay? Or you can switch around here, and then we'll do the same thing on this side, leaning back, trying to press this guy up and over our head. So we'll go through here. If you guys are stuck with no equipment at all, you can just hold and press like so. But this band, having it on the side like that, adds a whole other level to this. So I want you guys to try it. It's wanting you to be pulled that way, and so you're having to incorporate a lot more things in your core to not allow that to happen. 10 more seconds. Good, guys. 3, 2, 1. Time. Okay. Last one, we are going back down onto our back into this first position that we were just in. And we're going to take this band and crunch up with the band. So I'm going to keep my arms lifted above my head like so, eye level. And then I'll crunch up and try to look through my hands and then come back down. So I'm using the resistance of this band on that crunch to pull forward. And I'm just coming up till my shoulder blades and my head leave the floor. If you're banded or dumbbell, same thing. We're going for just a very isolated movement where we're just trying to lift our shoulders, just like we do in this one, where we just lift off like this. same, but I have that resistance of the band, and I'm pulling it in. So I'm really feeling the core. So 10 seconds left. When in doubt, you can just hold, keep that band tight. Don't go in. 3, 2, 1, and rest. There you go. You guys can hear that. All right, that is our first round, you guys. So we are going to do that again. I know I said yes. We have 3 more sets. Yes, and we'll couple them later. That's okay. All right, so we're on to our second set here, and you're already in your starting position. So lift up the legs, extending one at a time. If you can't keep your back down, you can try lowering bent legs instead of straight ones, because it is so important that your back stays down. If your back's not staying down, first, you're not really working your core in the way that it's meant to be worked in this one. And second off, you're probably making yourself much more prone to injury. As soon as our back lifts off, start to put some of that work that should be on our core muscles and our ab muscles, we put it on our lower back in a way that it's not meant to be put on there. And so that's why you might start to feel that creeping up lower back pain. Yes, good job, you guys. But I can't stress enough how important it is to have that lower back down. So we'll move on to this V hold. Get ourselves into position. Get that band anchored beside us. There we go. It's a short 15 seconds. So if your band's like mine, you might find that it kind of slips up and down. Something that I do to avoid that is I wrap it around twice. Let's just find out the hard way, like it just happens and I deal with it when it happens. So if that's happening to you, try that. And it just keeps the band in a much more anchored place. It also makes it a lot tighter, so you might have to move a little closer. So you guys have 15 seconds left. Here you go. Breathe through this one. Yes. That is that in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice. All right. So let's flip around. Switch to the other side. And do the same thing on the other side. So switch around, guys. Start in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. You guys did it. Same deal over here. Working with holding that position, keeping your chest lifted up high. You guys are working again with dumbbells or bands. You have one dumbbell, push up one at a time. If you have 2, you can push up the 1. And that's just to help us have like a single-sided situation going on. And yes, there are some sneaky shoulder burning work in here. There is some. 15 seconds left though. Breathe through it. Get through it. Even it out as per what we did on the first side. And go. 3, 2, 1. Nice job. All right. So we're going into that banded crunch, that weighted crunch. You guys can lay down back onto your back. Bustling there. We're going to have this 15 seconds. And we are going. So for most of us, this is going to be very challenging, just as it is. If there's anyone who feels that they want to make this harder, if I hold the band closer to the mount point, it's going to be a lot more challenging. The other thing that I would have you do to make this harder is you can lift up your legs. But that is only for those of you who are, feeling like it is just too easy. You can try to do that. But most of us, we don't really do it down here. 15 seconds left. Trying to just feel your core muscles, specifically your ab muscles in the front. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Halfway, 2 more sets. Yeah. All right. Starting in, what is going on here? I kind of just decided to stop. Okay, sorry about that. And here we go. Let's do it. Third set, you guys. So we're back to that banded dead bug. Yes. So with every time you're sending your leg out, one exhale. So you bring it in, fill the lungs. And then exhale, send that leg out. Tighten up your core. Fight the floor with your lower back. So try to really push it down as much as you can. Keep it up for this. 10 seconds left. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Woo. All right. So go into this hold that pull-up press. So we've done something similar with this one in a kneeling position, which most of us would probably feel like it's a lot easier than this V position. Because for most of us, just holding this is going to be hard. So that might be where you need to be at here today, is just holding this position here, whether it's with this band of existence moving sideways, or whether you're just holding something here. You can try to throw in that press over our head. 15 seconds left though. Most important thing is that you are not touching your foot down. You need to, that's okay, but try not to. You're almost there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's flip around to the other side now. Woo. 3, 2, 1. So let's do it. Second last time you guys are doing. One more round like this. So we'll finish as strong as possible. And keep our chest lifted up, shoulders down and back, pressing up on one side, two, whatever you guys are doing, but keeping that strong position in your body. 15 more seconds. There you go. Exhaling, get through this. Almost there. 5 more seconds. A couple more. 3, 2, 1. All right. On our backs, pull that resisted crunch to get as using bands, dumbbells that are not anchored. Dumbbells, of course, they're not, but bands. You guys can go through the same crunch. Very isolated movement. We're just trying to lift our shoulders off the floor. Some of us might be feeling our neck muscles because there are muscles in there and we don't do such a direct crunch so often. So try to tuck your chin in as much as you can. And when in doubt, you can give a little bit of support to your neck. So you have 15 more seconds. And we have to do this one more time. Yes. 3, 2, 1. Great. We are here. We have one more set. I know we're going a little over time, so it takes about 4 minutes to get through, and we are done. And we are going to grab the base. On your back, dead bug. Let's go. Final set. Final round for the core. It's good. We gotta get through this stuff. This is stuff that we're never ever gonna do on our own any other time. So we gotta get it in right now. 20 more seconds left. It's dead bug, which means we are more than halfway there. 10 seconds. Ooh, 3, 2, 1. Woo. Press. Good work. Okay, so definitely by now, you should be feeling that all up in here. Might be getting a little bit of that achy feeling in your lower back. That's what happens when you do a lot of core work. We talked about this before. We'll go into this next one here. If you are starting to feel like that lower back pain is getting a little bit too much, that's why I give you guys the option of like lowering your feet down to the floor, maybe not sitting back so low. Those are a couple things that you can do to avoid that pain. So you want to keep it on the front, not so much on the back. And when it starts to get too much for your core, that's when you start to get that lower back stress feeling. So sometimes you just gotta make the exercise a little easier and keep going. And we get 10 more seconds. So keep going. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. All right, other side, and we are done this one. We have that last one to do there. So flip around, you guys. Get ready. Just here we go. Let's do it. 45 seconds. Breathe through those breaths. Trying to relax your shoulders. You don't want to be losing your neck as much as you can. And down and back. Halfway, you guys. Just got 20 seconds left. Let's go. Taking your time with these reps. About 3 more. Nice and slow, controlled, up and down. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and last one. Woo! All right, we're on our back for the final one. Good news is, once we're done this one, just stay down here. See, all done? All right, ready, set, let's go. Let's do it. Final set of this band resistant punch. See if you can finish off nice and strong here. Again, trying to stay tight with that lower back. Keeping your chin tucked in so your head's not poking forward too much. And we'll go through these ones for 15 more seconds, guys. Let's get it. So close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're done. Yes. Woo. All right, you're down here. So let's just do a quick flip around here, and we'll work through some of our cat-cow, where we're arching and rounding the back. Because at this point in our life, this is probably something that you really want to do. Stretch out your abs and just stretch out your lower back. It feels really good and helps us loosen up what we just did. So we'll go through that about 5 times, up and down. And we're just going to do a quick set here. If you guys want to come back and do another set, feel free to do so. So I'll finish that off by walking my fingertips away and sinking my hips back into this position. And then we can hold here. So this is going to give us that nice stretch through our mid back, lower back, a little bit into our hips. So definitely something that you can take your time in today. Oh, hopefully you guys feel good. Some other stretches that you can do for your upper body, the one where we're reaching behind our back and I'm kneeling. I know some of you might cringe seeing me in this kneeling position, so do this up here or standing, whatever you want to do. And we can also do this one in front of the body. So take your time loosening up the front side, the back side. You guys are done with me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carly, for coming out live. Good back, girl. Thank you guys so much. If you're watching the replay, I want to hear from you. So please drop a comment below. We'll be back tomorrow for leg day, of course. And it's the weekend. Hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you soon. Bye. And bye.